Hi there YouTube, my name is Simon and welcome to my show. I make astrological, spiritual and videos on life, and I bring my astrological perspective to the internet. Firstly, before anything else, thanks very much for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. I truly appreciate all listeners and people out there that are inquisitive and wanting to know more. Today I'm bringing the third part in my series called the Pluto Story. What's it all about? And I've gotten to the aspect within consciousness that is why our reality is the way that it is. It is literally this symbolism over here that's kind of like making it more conscious to us. So yeah, what is it all about? Remember in part one, if you haven't watched it, I've put the link on the bottom over there. Part one was describing the nature of the totality of evolution from 2008 up until 2024. And sort of giving you a wider perspective of the nature of what's going on. And then part two speaks about the nature of Uranus making a relationship to Pluto and what's all that all about and the sort of like awakening process and such. So today is part three, and this is Saturn in Scorpio. Now, Saturn in Scorpio has been a very, very bumpy ride for a lot of people, because essentially this type of symbolism, when they're put together, is like confrontation on the most extreme levels, literally. And it's working in this format for us in a very, very healthy and positive way. And my message here is to try and align ourselves with that process to understand why this sort of like archetype needs to exist within our consciousness in order for us to awaken, to spiritually evolve, to understand our relationship to Mother Nature, and so on and so forth. So, Saturn in Scorpio. Firstly, I want to let you guys know that Saturn and Capricorn and the 10th house correlates to the very sort of like same archetypes within consciousness. They have the same sort of function. And so with Pluto making the transit or the movement through Capricorn and what it's about, Saturn in itself is also kind of doing the same thing. And that's why we're having such a beautiful understanding of Pluto through Capricorn, because Saturn in itself is in a way making it even more specific as if to what it is that Pluto in Capricorn is really, really trying to tell us. So Pluto in Capricorn is actually making a trine to Saturn in Scorpio. Okay, now the trine is an energy that is of flowing and harmonic nature. So there is a sort of reception within the energy that is balanced in some way. Now, it doesn't mean that trines are energy fields or energy relationships that are good. It just means that there's a harmonic experience to it. We can get lazy on this experience because it becomes too easy. But in this particular instance, relative to what I'm saying to you guys, Saturn in Scorpio making a trine to Pluto is really, really important. So Capricorn, we realized, was societal structures and the way that we define our outside reality. Saturn will relate to the limitations and form. Form creates limitations. So as a simple example of this information, you take a glass, you pour water into it. Water relative to consciousness, the glass, the human experience, the body, so our limitations, our form. Okay? So Saturn in Scorpio. And let me just press that over there for you guys. There we go. So you want to know why Scorpio has that tail? Well, if you've ever met a Scorpio before, I'm going to use the cliche of they're intense. Why? Well, it's really that Scorpio energy, Pluto energy, 8th house energy is about confrontation. It's about removing anything that is there, that is nonsense, and it's getting to the bottom of it. Why? So that it can unravel and remove limitations so that it can evolve. And that process within consciousness is about confrontation. Straight away, right, what is it? What is it? None of this sort of left-right stuff. I want to know exactly what it is, and that's how it works. So if you put Saturn in Scorpio, what are you getting? You're getting this information where our limitations, our structure, our reality is being confronted all the time. And what is it about? The truth, right? The truth. Which is why you now all of a sudden, when Saturn went into Scorpio, and we've been experiencing this Pluto transit, and we've been experiencing this Uranus transit, what has been coming to the surface? The truth, the lies, the problems, the issues, etc., etc. Because Scorpio and Saturn are making that trine to Pluto, saying, all right, guys, we're going to fix this, but I need your cooperation. And Earth, I need your cooperation. So this is one of the most beautiful ways in which I can sort of make this energy exist in imagery, and that is that we're looking behind the curtains and going, what's over there? Aha! Okay, Saturn and Scorpio, confrontation. And it's that process where we're no longer sort of like accepting anything as what it is. We're wanting to confront the information and know what's true and what isn't true. So what is beautiful about this energy field and its relationship to Pluto and its story that I explained in part 1 is about allowing us to confront where all the deceitfulness is taking place, where all the wrong things are, where all the things are that are not true, and connecting to that space, and then seeing what it brings us, seeing what that information brings us, which, as you can know from the way that we understand our financial structure, has been, of course, extremely intense. The way that our governments have been working, the way that everything's been working. So all of a sudden you get this 99% and the 1%, right? So that divination that between that. David Icke, for instance, great example of the work that he's doing, right? Exposing the dream world to be the dream world. And a lot of the Mark Rousseau work, spiritual science, for instance, great people that are sort of pushing forward in this consciousness, what is real, getting to the bottom of it. So again, I bring up the nature of oppression. Again, this is the Uranus story, but again, more so is that Uranus and Aries, Uranus and Scorpio are making a kind of like, Saturn and Uranus are making an inconjunct with each other, okay? And that's why we're getting a lot of the information coming through to us from the anxiety perspective. Like it's coming down, like this depression, this information, it's all coming to the surface, it's boiling to the surface, and we're having to deal with it. Saturn and Scorpio, deal with it. And it's through that process of evolving that we'll be able to understand why this is taking place. So removing oppression. And how is it working? Through the truth. But really, we're looking at the magnifying glass and we're seeing the lies. So this is, that exists in reality because of what it is that I'm talking about right now. So that's why we're experiencing the way. So when you're looking at your life and you're looking at all this information, the truths that are coming out, it's Saturn and Scorpio energy. Okay, so what is your responsibility within this consciousness? Saturn, responsibility. Okay, speak the truth even if your voice shakes. Okay, and it's honestly one of the most important things to do when it comes to this. Like I'm doing right now, I'm sharing this information and I'm trying to get it out there so that people are being able to be awoken to this experience, and that part of that process is speak the truth even if your voice shakes, right? The 99% are standing outside the Wall Street and doing all the stuff. We're seeing all of the rallies, all of the protests. Speak the truth, even if it makes your voice shake, okay? Really important. And we go totality back all the way to Saturn again. And I think it's really, really important that, we sort of acknowledge that Saturn in itself is going to be transiting through Scorpio for quite some time, up until, I think, maybe next year, 2015. And what I encourage you guys to do during this period of time is to do that information, to seek the truth, to know what's real, to align yourself with information that is being given to you, that is allowing you to better understand the nature of your life, okay? And to read between the lines of what's being given to you, to understand where to put your energy into, and to really, really start to learn that we as spiritual beings within our consciousness, okay, have been experiencing a lot of oppression for a large period of time, and it is now time to change that experience. And Saturn in Scorpio is also offering that opportunity for regeneration, okay, the rebirthing process, okay? So that's it for part 3, guys. I hope that was really, really informative. I'm going to basically post part 1 and part 2 in this video description as well. Please watch all of them to sort of like see the Pluto story in itself. And hit the like and subscribe button if you're interested in more of my content. And if you're wanting to know how this is personally affecting your own life, there's my Facebook page as well as my astrology website as well. Contact me and write in the comments below. I'd love to interact with you guys and share the information. But until then, thanks very much, guys. Have a fantastic evening. Goodbye.